We have a special guest in the studio today. We got Andrew here with his 2019 Mustang GT in that killer need for green color. You might know him better by the Gold Pony 21 on YouTube, Instagram. You're kind of all over the place. Tell us about the car and what your what your play on YouTube is right now.
Yep, it's a 2019 Ford Mustang GT need for green 10R80 transmission. Gotten everything off of cjpodyparts.com. Right now, performance-wise, it's just an X pipe, but hopefully we're going to be changing that.
We'll take care of that today for sure.
Other than that, cosmetic, and I review cars on YouTube and also make a ton of videos about Stangosaurus, which is the name for the car.
Stangosaurus, okay. And how did you get started on YouTube?
I've been obsessed with cars for forever since I've done research projects in elementary school, but been modifying cars for quite a while too. First time owning a Mustang though, but definitely by far my favorite car I've ever owned though.
And what made you want this particular color car? I mean, why auto over manual? Why green?
Yeah, the automatic over manual is just, I've driven different manuals and definitely just prefer the automatic in this one. And it's faster, of course, as well. So
True.
Loving that. I'm planning on taking it to the drag strip this year.
Well, cool, let's get some parts installed on this thing.
Sounds good.
Our first install we're going to do today, or should I say Andrew's going to do on his car, is Steeda's ProFlow closed cold air intake kit. Now everybody knows the stock airbox works pretty well on these cars. So what Steeda did is just basically took that and made it better. It comes with a cover that's unique to the Steeda product line, a larger filter which is re-oilable and usable, and then a huge inlet. Now the master meter on this is 121 millimeters. It's the largest one on the market. Now this will require a tune, but Steeda claims 25 horsepower and 3,500 at the peak using this cold air intake. They use this on their Silver Bullet Mustang, which is the fastest NA 2018 around right now. This is going to fit your 2015 through 2019 Mustang GT. For this installation, you'll need a 1/4 inch ratchet, 7 millimeter socket, 8 millimeter socket, 10 millimeter socket, 3/32 Allen key, T20 Torx bit, pliers, and a flat blade screwdriver. If you have a factory strut brace, you'll also need a 1/2 inch ratchet and a 15 millimeter socket. I know watching your videos, I saw you did your tin. Did you do your X-pipe yourself? You had someone do that at a shop?
I did. Yep.
What kind of experience do you have working on cars? I mean, have you done stuff like this before?
Just replacing a battery, wheels, and maybe the badges, but that's about it.
Well, nice thing with the cold air kit is it's a very simple install. If you've never done something like this before, it's still pretty straightforward to do. The first thing we're going to do in the case of this car is remove the strut tower brace. Got it?
Got it.
The strut tower brace off, the next thing we're going to do is remove the massive intake cover.
And so to start, we're going to pop the covers off here.
Kind of lift up on your side. Yeah, I got it. Now we're ready to remove the intake. Now in the case of the Steeda, it uses the factory lower box. All I have to do is remove the top of the box and then all the tubing.
All right, so to start, we are going to remove this along with the mass airflow sensor. To remove that, there's a little red button underneath and that just slides out. All right, next we are going to remove the hoses. And next we are going to remove the tubing from the throttle body. Then we have these two clips on the back of the box. We're going to remove those. Lastly, we just remove the factory filter. First step is going to be simply put the filter in. And so to start, we're going to take the original mass air sensor out of the factory intake.
While he's doing that, I have the intake tube set up over here. Basically what you want to do, it comes with all the fittings for 15 through 19. You want to mimic the factory setup. Now in our case, we're going to keep the sound tube, so we leave this open. We're going to block this off because the 18 did not have a port here. So we just have one on this side and one on that side. And then we'll take that sensor out and put it in the airbox. We're going to install the original mass air sensor into our Steeda lid. Now something I want to mention here, there is an insert in this. This can be removed for race applications. Now this intake will need a tune regardless of which way you set it up. I would suggest leaving this in for a daily driver even though it needs a tune, because if you take this out, it'll be more of a race tune. Might not idle as well, but it's going to make the most power. Keep that for the track. Make sure you use the Steeda provided hardware The original ones will not work. Just get them snug. You don't have to over tighten these.
Now that we have the mass air sensor on the cover here, we're just going to install it over top of the filter. Push the factory clips back on.
There you go.
And Steeda provides a hole in the front of the lid here to push the factory clip back on. All right, so next we're going to put the couplers on with the clamps, but don't tighten it until the tube is in place. And it's easier to put both clamps on. All right, so we're ready to put the intake tube on. Make sure you put the coupler on for the throttle body, and remember the clamps. All right, next we're going to tighten up all the clamps. Then we're going to plug in the hoses. And last thing we're going to do is just install the intake manifold cover back on along with the strut tower brace, and we're all finished.
So man, for your first install, you handled it like a pro. What do you think of the cold air kit?
I love it. I'm excited to get it out on the road and see how it performs. But yeah, definitely not too hard of an install. I appreciate your help. And
Sure.
It's true. Bill had me back on the road in no time.
With an install like this, again, you will need a custom tune, so pick up an N-Gage or an SCT tuner with this, but the installation is pretty straightforward. I mean, Steeda runs this on their Silver Bullet, which has been 1030s on motor, so obviously it's going to work. Installs about an hour to an hour and a half, and you'll be back on the road in no time. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed that video. Make sure you click on the CJ button so you subscribe for future videos, and click the corner up here for more videos for your Mustang.